Welcome to the Toyota postgame show. Let's go places.
Well, the Denver Broncos have defeated the Carolina Panthers 24-10 to win Super Bowl 50. Up next here on CBS, a special live late show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen has Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, and more surprises coming your way on the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And welcome back to our set here at the Levi Stadium. Everyone, I'm James Brown, along with my guys, of course, Tony, Coach, Bart, and Boomer. Look here, 2 years ago, Denver lost convincingly to Seattle. John Elway went out and built a championship defense, and boy, did it show out.
You know what, guys? This one's for Pat Bowlen, this one's for Peyton Manning, and this one is done by one Wade Phillips. What a performance by this defense, back-to-back in the AFC Championship game and now in Super Bowl 50.
I tell you what, J.J. Watt won the MVP, but Von Miller introduced himself to the masses. What a performance he put on. I didn't think that a defense could win a championship almost by themselves, but man, I've been proved wrong.
There's no question the MVP of this game was Von Miller. Again, the last 2 weeks, 2.5 sacks in each game, 2 caused fumbles tonight, a one-man wrecking ball, and again, he literally won this game with that defense.
Yeah, and hats off to DeMarcus Ware, his counterpart on the other side. He had himself a game too, along with Malik Jackson and Derek Wolfe. But I want to talk about Peyton Manning. I know he didn't play the best of a game, but that is something that we expected. He did have the 1 turnover, but my hat's off to him. The season that he's had up and down, and for him to get that Super Bowl, to ride off into the sunset, it was a great sheriff's last dance.
And everyone knew that it was going to be that defense and the supporting cast to get it done, and boy, did that defense do it. But Peyton Manning will ride off into the sunset. Up next, the Vince Lombardi Trophy presentation to the champion Broncos. Well, the celebration here is because the Broncos have knocked off the Carolina Panthers by the score of 24-10. They claim the Super Bowl 50 Lombardi Trophy. And a reminder, up next on CBS, a special live late show with Stephen Colbert. Stephen has Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, and more surprises as we welcome you back to the Toyota postgame show. Now up to Jim Nance.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the MVP of Super Bowl 32, Terrell Davis, and the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The MVP of Super Bowl 3, Joe Namath. The MVP of Super Bowl 10, Lynn Swann.
Thank you, Lynn Swann. Commissioner, it's time to present the Lombardi Trophy to the Bowlen family. Annabelle is here. And I think we're going to pass it on down over here to Joe Ellis. Joe, why don't you put your hands on the Lombardi Trophy as the CEO of this Broncos organization. Annabelle, I know you want to accept it with these words. Go ahead, Roger. Let's pass this trophy over.
Well, before we do, let me just thank all the Bronco fans. And tonight, Peyton, I don't know if this is your last rodeo, but it was one heck of a ride, and we all thank you for the ride. So thank you. Annabelle, I know this is a special moment for you, and we're all thinking about Pat, a great man, a man who led this organization. And we're proud you could take this back to Denver for Pat Bowlen and for your Denver Bronco fans. You're Super Bowl champs. Congratulations. Joe. There you go.
Annabelle, the mic is yours.
If Pat was here today, he would say he is very proud of his team and the best fans in the NFL. On behalf of the Bowlen family, congratulations to the Denver Broncos. For the third time, Broncos country, you are Super Bowl champions.
Big John, why don't you put your hands on that trophy? I know you've had it in your hands before, but this one, for constructing this team, what does this one mean to you?
Well, and I'm going to say this, and he would not want me to say this, but this one's for Pat.
Why don't you hand it off here, number 7, to your great friend Gary Kubiak. How do you describe this moment and what this team and this defense did tonight?
Oh, this team's been special all year long, Jim. And, you know, this football game is exactly the way we won all year long. You know, we just kept battling. We grinded. We called ourselves the Grinders, and we grinded one more time to a championship.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
the first in the history of the game to win a Super Bowl as a head coach for the same team he played for. That's you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jim.
And the MVP of Super Bowl 50 is Von Miller. Vaughn, this was a fascinating matchup with you and Cam, the first 2 draft picks back in 2011. And all night long, this Denver defense was on them, making life very difficult. How about this run by this Denver defense all season, and particular tonight against the highest scoring team in the league?
I'm so proud of my guys. It's been every last one of the guys in the locker room that has got me to this moment right here. Could have gave up on me, but they kept pushing and kept being the type of guys that they are in the locker room. I'm very, very appreciative of them. Happy for Clady, happy for Ryan, happy for the O-line, I'm happy for Bronco Nation. We're going to celebrate this one all summer.
Congratulations, Vaughn. What a couple of games you put together here in the last 2 weeks, too. Von Miller, the MVP. And ladies and gentlemen, let's bring in number 18, Peyton Manning, and let him hold that trophy. Well, the word was last night when you spoke to the team, at the end it got difficult to get the words out. Can you share with us what you said?
Well, it's certainly been an emotional week for everybody, Jim, and last night was a special time. Just the players and the coaches were in there together, and we just kind of reflected on what all we've been through this season. And this has been a tough, resilient, unselfish bunch of guys, and that was evident tonight in this game. And I've just been honored and grateful to have been a part of it. So I was just thanking them for letting me be a part of the journey.
You know, not everyone here inside the stadium heard what you said to Tracy Wolfson. So if you'd share it one more time. The commissioner made reference to perhaps this is your last rodeo. Is this it? Will you ever step foot on the field again tonight, or do you walk off with the fairy tale ending, holding this in your hands?
Well, Jim, I got some good advice from Tony Dungy, who's going into the Hall of Fame and my old coach, and he said, don't make an emotional decision. This has been a very emotional week, an emotional night, and I got a couple of priorities in order. I want to go kiss my wife, kiss my kids. I want to go celebrate with my family and teammates. And I'm going to drink a lot of beer tonight, Jim. Budweiser, Von Miller's buying, and those are my priorities at this point. I'll take some time to reflect on the other, but I'm going to say a prayer and a thank you to the man upstairs for this opportunity for sure as well.
Well, listen, there's only one thing that can be sweeter to have in your hands than that trophy, and that's your two children right here who are reaching up and wanting to grab hold of it and share it with their daddy. Congratulations, Peyton.
Jim, thank you very much. Go Broncos!
And we're going to send it back to James Brown. Congratulations to the champions of the world, the Denver Broncos. JB?
All right, Jim, a celebratory night indeed by and for the Broncos. And the Toyota postgame show will continue from here at Levi Stadium after this.
This is the Toyota postgame show. Let's go places.
And post-game show aerial coverage brought to you by Budweiser. And a reminder again, up next here on CBS, a special live late show with Stephen Colbert. He's got guest Tina Fey, Will Ferrell, and more surprises coming your way. That's coming up next right here on CBS. And we're going to start with comments with the guy, the only guy who picked the Broncos pregame, and that will be Tony Gonzalez.
Well, every dog has his day, boy. He's done so much for the game. The legacy that he leaves behind, it's really going to be hard to match the blueprint for all these young quarterbacks that have come into the league. They are going to be looking to Peyton Manning's career as a way to do it on and off the field, and couldn't happen to a better guy.
You know what, I just think about Peyton Manning. I think about a guy who always had great respect for the game. He always did it with dignity, and he always showed great humility. And that's what I will take away from him. The guy was, without a doubt to me, the face of the National Football League.
I tell you what, he's a trailblazer. He changed the way not only that quarterbacks prepare, he changed the way that you prepared. You wanted to make sure that you're working just as hard as Peyton Manning was. He's been gracious in victory and gracious in defeat. If this is his last ride, I feel privileged to have taken the field against him.
You know, here's the thing that I appreciate more about Peyton Manning than anything else. You said humility, and I think it speaks volumes, because it never was about him, Super Bowl 50. We in the media might have made it about him, but he resisted that urge because he knew his team was about Von Miller, that defense, John Elway, and Pat Bowlen, and he was along for the ride. And that humility is what stands, to me, out for him, one Peyton Manning.
Loud and clear, Boomer, a class act to say the least. And before we step aside for a break, let's check in with Evan Washburn, who's standing by with Coach Ron Rivera of the Panthers.
Coach, I really appreciate you coming back here and spend some time with us. This game seemed to be decided on the defensive side of the ball. Was there anything you could have done offensively to make a difference?
Well, I think the biggest thing more so is we couldn't turn the ball over. I mean, a couple times we get into their half of the field and we turn the ball over. We lost a fumble, we lost an interception. We had opportunities to move the ball and put it in position to score, and we didn't do that. You know, we missed a field goal at the wrong time. These are types of things that you can't expect to do and win in a championship game. Again, especially against a defense that's as productive as they are. They made a lot of things happen. Got to give them credit for what they did.
Coach, you've been incredibly gracious with your time all week. Thank you for taking some time here after a tough loss.
Well, you know, this is all part of it. I mean, and that's where we're learning and growing. I told our guys this is the same team a couple of years back that lost in New York on the Super Bowl, and look at where they are today. So let's learn and grow from this experience.
Coach, thank you.
You're welcome.
JB?
Well, you know, Bill Cowher gave us a snapshot look at Ron Rivera doing that interview. Class act there as well. We will step aside. We've got more to come your way here from Levi Stadium. More to come on the Toyota postgame show after this.